kind of grew up always either wanting to be a lawyer or wanting to be a journalist. So I kind of, even from when we were living over in Indonesia especially, I used to host news programs that we'd film on our, really old video camera and send back to Granny and Grandpa. So I'd kind of always be sitting in the anchor's chair, and then I'd make my older sister be, I think she did reports from the field, and my younger brother did weather, and my other sister did sport. Wow. And we'd make these whole productions, and I used to wear mum's batik jackets, and I used to love it. So I kind of always grew up thinking I wanted to do something like that. I love telling stories, and that was what I was so passionate about from such a young age. Writing, I used to write so much poetry and get it published in the Canberra Times.
Yeah,
and
right.
I still remember, I haven't thought about this in ages. There was one poem I wrote and I was so proud of it. It went something like, tomorrow is a place you and I shall never be. Tomorrow is a time you and I shall never see. Why have tomorrow when the day shall never come? For tomorrow becomes today with the rising of the sun. And I was so proud.
That
I thought,
is so deep
deep.
Too.
And I was 11. So I was like, dude, I have a future in this kind of shit. And I was like, this is next level. Saying it out loud now, not as impressive as what I thought.
And it's all rhymey and nice.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that.
And it makes sense. Get it? When the rising of the sun,
I totally get it.
Tomorrow becomes today. Yeah. So that was my inspiration. So I always loved that element of it. And then I remember I saw an ad in the paper for TV presenters, which you never see. So I'd enrolled in uni. I did journalism at uni, but I dropped out of uni 6 times. So I would enroll in journalism, then there'd be a party or something I'd rather go to, or I just didn't want to do the assignment. So then I'd drop out, and then I'd enroll in another degree thinking maybe I'm just not doing the right degree, and then I'd drop out of that. And so I'd always managed to drop out after the HECS cutoff, of course. So I still had to pay a full degree's HECS without one credit.
No, you're
one
going to be
unit
paying
of
that
credit.
off
I
until
know.
you die.
I think I've paid it off now. I'm 32, so you'd hope so. But I did spend the first few years ticking the no HECS box, like when I worked at Macca's and stuff. So I think I've paid it off now. But I kind of just, it's bizarre because I had no interest in studying or working hard or doing anything then. Then when I saw this ad in the paper, I went to the audition. I remember sitting outside in the car. I don't know how I even got an audition because I had nothing on my CV except gymnastics coaching and McDonald's.
Right.
And I went in. Well, first I was sitting outside in the car and I had these horrendous sweat marks because I was so nervous. So I had the air on in the car and I was trying to dry my sweat marks, and I had these really tight Sassenbide grey jeans on, and they were hot.
Yes.
Are they still hot?
Sassenbide jeans.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Anyway,
still so on trend.
Yes, so on point.
Yeah, totally.
And then I slung my leg out, the crotch ripped open.
Oh no, you're kidding.
Not even joke. It'd be a good story if I made it up, but it's actually for real. So I went in, I'm like, I'm really sorry I'm late. I've ripped the crotch open on my jeans. I think someone made a joke that it would actually probably help my audition. I was like, I was still frigid then, I think. I was 21. So anyway, I went in, read the auto cue. I was horrendous. I just was hopeless. I wasn't natural. It was awful. And they never called, but every week after that, for about 6 months, I reckon it was, I sent the boss of that station an email, just a couple of lines just saying, I know that I can do this. I know I didn't do well, but please give me a shot. Please give me a shot. Please give me a shot. I think after about 6 months, I remember it was my 21st birthday, and I got a call from a number I didn't know. And I was at uni, I'd re-enrolled.
Right.
Yeah, no other option. And the guy, Steve, his name was, and he said, Erin, it's Steve from Channel Vision, that was the name. He said, if I give you a 2-minute segment on the food show, will you leave me the fuck alone? And I was like, yes, I will. Anyway, from that moment on, I think within a month I was their main presenter, hosting, business, sport, the whole thing. And it was still very local and little, but it was my foot in the door. And from then on, from that day on, I think my first day at work, I just totally, my work ethic since then, and to my detriment as well, on the expense of a lot of other things, it's all I do. It's my entire focus. It's just, not so much now, but going from someone who wouldn't even do an assignment because they couldn't be bothered to just someone who just would never leave a stone unturned, and just I guess that's what I'll always say, someone might have more talent than me, but no one will ever work harder than me, and no one will ever do more prep than me, and no one will ever know more than me. I wish I was more natural and talented because I'd have to work less.
You're doing okay.
But but I think it's just bizarre because I went from this person who just had no interest in the academia side of things, and then just that found my thing.
So, that is unreal.
Yeah.
You do that. When I was trying to get into radio, I would send demos, and it was that kind of the balance of being, just checking in and then going to
as
full
opposed
pest.
to punish. Yeah. And I then went, so once I got that opportunity, it took me 3 or 4 years to then get an opportunity at Win TV, and then when I was at Win TV to try and go national, I had 82 rejection letters that I keep in a folder. 82 your writing's not good enough, your look's not good enough, your voice isn't good enough, my voice was horrendous, your voice is horrendous. And people were wonderful. Like Kenny Sutcliffe would always send me back, you know, and he'd send me back ideas and suggestions on stuff. But I just, you know, I was never just good naturally. Some people now, some young kids come in and they might do a voice and I'm like, oh my, I sounded like a hyena for the first 6 years that I was, you know, doing work, and I envy them so much, but I genuinely, nothing ever came easily. Like it took me, you know, 7 or 8 years to get to, you know, to national, to Channel 9, and then once I got there, things happened fairly quickly. But, you know, I've done TV, what am I, 11, 12 years now, and it's been a long process. People think it happened like that, and it's certainly different. It didn't. I've always had to work incredibly hard for it.